Hello everyone, welcome back to Ormauk. It's been a hot minute since we posted. The last month had been super busy for myself and I thought it was best for me to just pause Ormauk until everything settled down. In any case, today I wanted to move away from the big picture and zoom in a bit into a small town within the setting, LiLuan. I've mentioned in previous videos how I wanted my drawings to focus on nature and ecological world building. Having figured out the bigger, grander parts of the world, I wanted to focus again on the smaller things, just like how I did with the illustration for the San Telmo and the pitch glyphs. Since I'm just hopping back into it, I wanted to take it easy and not make something too complicated. Something loose and basic, kind of doodly almost. Additionally, I thought it would be a great idea to incorporate one of my favorite hobbies into this piece, which is fishing. So today, I'll talk a little bit about the town LiLuan, then a bit about the fishes, and finally some of my plans for Ormauk and what I want to do with it next. LiLuan is a relay town located within the archipelago of Yatua. It acts as a hub for much smaller communities surrounding it. Because of this, the town hosts a whole variety of characters from different walks of life. The speakers of the town's network relay station are commonly seen around town as they constantly prepare for their next expedition to collect data, investigate ruins, or track animals in the thick forests surrounding the area. They're usually accompanied by a team of students, interns, and rookie adventurers tasked with protecting them in the relatively harmless wilderness of Yatua. The rest of the townsfolk consist of merchants, tinkerers, farmers, and homesteaders working to help one another in the visitors they might get. Speaking of the speakers, the town was built around a network relay station near a river mouth that feeds into the sea. There are a couple of speakers who live in the relay station full-time to keep everything up and running. The town has a couple of houses where a few of the more permanent residents stay. There's an inn for the wayfarers, a market area, and a couple of multi-purpose buildings. On one end of the town is the port, which moors some of the residents' boats, and on the other end of the town is a small train platform. This platform and the tracks beside it connect LiLuan to smaller settlements throughout Yatua. Just across the tracks, you'll find a small path that goes uphill into an old abandoned water reservoir. This reservoir is a local hangout spot where folks can have fun in the shade of the trees in the cool mountain water. This first batch of water creatures I'm drawing focus more on the freshwater ecosystem. I started by imagining some of the flora that would be growing in LiLuan's rivers. When I was a kid, we used to eat these sea grapes that were kind of slimy when munching on them. I used that as a starting point for what some of the smaller creatures would be feeding on in these freshwater systems. This also inspired the design of the rock angler, which incorporated design elements of the anglerfish and the frogfish. I wanted to draw different kinds of silhouette shapes that incorporate real fishes as well as more fantastical ones. You'll see this a lot in future illustrations as well, where I mix in real-life animals into Ormauk, as it does get pretty tiring sometimes to only come up with new things. Plus, I think a balance of both always makes the more fantastical creatures more plausible, more grounded. With that in mind, 4 of the fishes I'm drawing are heavily based off of real-life fishes. The carp and the bass are obviously 2 of them. The other 2 are the sucker sturgeon and the elephant-nosed fish, the prior being very reminiscent of a suckerfish, and the latter having the proboscis-looking appendage of the real-life elephant-nosed fish. The other critters that are less derived from real-life fishes include the triangular arrowhead pincher, which is my attempt at designing a hyper-aggressive predator that hunts in schools much like the piranha. The massive, big, dome-headed bulletfish, I imagine, is a freshwater version of the bluefin tuna, although probably not going to be as massive, as tunas, they get really, really big. The elongated gulper serpentfish is based off the deep-sea gulper eel. I designed it to blend in better in waters that have tree roots and lots of greenery in it. Finally, there's also the blue flask fish, which also has a proboscis-looking appendage similar to the elephant-nosed fish, although not as pointed down. All these fish cover a bit of every part of the food chain, starting from the bottom feeder fish, some of the smaller fishes, and then the bigger predators. I had a bit of a fun time with the supporting cast of crustaceans and plants surrounding the fishes. In real life, some larger species of shrimp actually grow a spike at the tip of their head. I pushed this idea further to create a unicorn prawn with some bright blue coloring. There are a couple of hermit crabs with some simple, cute shells as well. The fiery red fly moth larvae looks like shrimp, but it's actually the larvae of a fly moth. Its size in the illustration, I imagine, is not true to size and is highly abundant in LiLuan freshwater. It, along with other small insects, larvae, or worms, comprise a big part of the smaller fish's diet within these systems. Overall, this was a really fun little illustration that allowed me to jump back into the world with a bit of a focus on a hobby that I enjoy a lot. I really want to create a saltwater version of this, so let me know in the comments if that's something you guys would like to see as well. And if you have any other questions about other parts of the world that you'd like me to explore as well. As for what I'm planning on drawing next, I still have another illustration that I'm working on which depicts speakers communing with the elementals. As well, myself and a couple other people are currently working on a larger project set in Ormauk, but I can't talk about it too much yet, as it is still in its earlier phase. If you'd like to know about that and more, you can follow me here on YouTube or on our other social media where I usually write up some more information about the illustrations. That's going to be it for today. Thanks a bunch for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.